New information comes out about Hunter Biden's China dealings. The Olympics are looking like a disaster, and China builds a new Great Wall. That and more on this week's China News Headlines. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. U.S. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been under federal investigation since 2018 over shady Chinese business deals. And now, there's a new update.
A new report reveals Hunter Biden received a grand jury subpoena in May of 2019 regarding his Chinese business dealings.
A U.S. attorney subpoenaed J.P. Morgan Chase Bank for the bank records of Hunter Biden, as well as President Biden's brother, James Biden, and two other individuals. The subpoena confirms the president's son and brother received transfers from an account with the Bank of China. Again, this subpoena was issued in 2019, while Joe Biden was a presidential candidate. But the federal investigation into Hunter Biden was deliberately kept secret until after the 2020 election. The subpoena was recently obtained by Marco Polo, a nonprofit started by a former Trump administration official. He says it was sent to him by a whistleblower who was involved in the subpoena. This revelation also comes as the New York Times is suing the State Department for withholding documents about Hunter Biden. It's almost like Hunter Biden is getting some kind of protection from the government. I wonder why. And coming up after the break, the Beijing Olympics are kind of a disaster. Welcome back. The Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics begin today, so it's not too late to celebrate with this China Uncensored exclusive, not made in China t-shirt. Beijing 2022. Fake snow, real genocide. Get yours at chinauncensored.tv/merchandise. And I predict this year China will win big in the Olympics, partially because a Chinese figure skating judge that was banned for biased scoring will be back at the Beijing Games. Now I know you're concerned about the Olympics being sabotaged, and you're right to worry. According to the Chinese Foreign Ministry, the U.S. will stop at nothing to sabotage the Winter Olympics. The alleged plan included the U.S. inciting athletes from various countries to criticize China, to compete half-heartedly, or even not to participate in the competition. Wait. If the plan includes getting athletes to compete half-heartedly, that's great for China. More gold! Taiwan, which competes under the name Chinese Taipei, originally planned to skip the opening and closing ceremonies, but the International Olympic Committee is forcing them to attend. They said skipping the ceremonies would be a violation of the Olympic Charter. So, let me get this straight. Genocide, not a violation of the Olympic Charter. Forcing an independent nation to compete under a phony name forced upon them by an authoritarian regime, also not a violation of the Olympic Charter. But wanting to skip the opening ceremony because of delayed flights and COVID-19 prevention measures, violation of the Olympic Charter. Taiwan was not alone in wanting to skip the opening and closing ceremonies. Olympic athletes from multiple countries who want to show solidarity with the victims of the Chinese government's human rights abuses have been quietly preparing to boycott the opening ceremonies. I'm sure they'll be getting a call from the IOC about violating the Olympic Charter. And San Francisco-born skier Ellen Gu, a gold medal favorite, is drawing controversy because she's skiing for China. So on the one hand, her mom is from China. On the other hand, China is committing genocide. Jen Hudak, a former Winter X Games gold medalist for the U.S. women's team, said she became the athlete she is because she grew up in the United States, where she had access to premier training grounds and coaching that, as a female, she might not have had in China. I think she would be a different skier if she grew up in China. So, why might she be skiing for China? According to a former X Games athlete who asked not to be identified, in China, Gu will be supported by the government. The amount of money and the amount of support she gets from China will be so much higher than what she would get in America. Well, I definitely think she'll be getting more support from China than in America now. And coming up after the break, China's building a new Great Wall. Welcome back. 2 years ago, a whistleblower revealed that a Foxconn factory in China was using school children working overnight to make Amazon Alexa devices. That whistleblower, a man named Tang Mingfang, was then tortured and jailed by Chinese authorities. Now, after spending 2 years in prison, he is appealing to the higher courts to clear his name. Considering China's courts are rigged and, the torture, you might be wondering why he's exposing himself to further torture. Well, he believes Amazon and its founder, Jeff Bezos, have a responsibility to support his appeal. Now, if you've seen my recent episode, Amazon is selling out to China and it's dangerous for everyone, you probably don't have a lot of faith that Jeff Bezos is going to do that, especially since he didn't help Tang out in the first place. Remember how 2 years ago the US and China signed a Phase 1 trade deal? Well, it looks like China has failed to meet its Phase 1 trade deal commitments. Wait, really? I'm shocked. China pledged to increase purchases of US farm and manufactured goods, energy, and services by $200 billion above 2017 levels, but it only got about 60% of the way there. Not only that, but Chinese customs data showed that the country's 2021 trade surplus with the United States surged 25% to almost $400 billion. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Trump-era trade tariffs are still in place, so we'll have to see what the Biden administration's next move will be. And China is building another Great Wall. While Chinese netizens are calling it the Southern Great Wall, state-run media is calling it the anti-COVID Great Wall, because the avowed purpose is to fight the spread of COVID-19 by limiting the entry of traders, workers, and smugglers. And if you're thinking a physical wall won't keep out a microscopic virus, you're right. But the Communist Party has urged local officials to race against time, go all out, resolutely win the battle against the pandemic, and defend the South Gate of China. Which means doing any stupid thing to make it look like they're doing something, because it's their necks on the line. And now it's time for me to answer a question from one of you, a fan who supports China Uncensored on the crowdfunding platform Patreon. Thomas Adney asks, when will you guys start reporting on Inner Mongolia? Great question. Inner Mongolia is often overlooked by the international community. And like any region of China that's home to ethnic minorities, there's been plenty of genocide. But we have actually talked about Inner Mongolia, or Southern Mongolia as the locals call it. In fact, back in 2020, Matt interviewed someone from the Southern Mongolian Human Rights Information Center. The episode is called How China Colonized Half of Mongolia. I'll put a link to it below. We've also done a podcast on our other channel, China Unscripted, about what's happening in Southern Mongolia. Yes, in case you didn't know, we also have a podcast. Thanks for your question and your longtime support, Thomas. And thank you for watching. Be like Thomas and support China Uncensored with $1 or more per episode through the crowdfunding website patreon.com/China Uncensored. We rely on your support because we're not exactly getting funding from big companies, like the ones sponsoring the Beijing Olympics. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.